Yes, and welcome back to the 94 Club for your daily dose of country music. Hey, look, this week we've got some exciting artists coming up on the channel. I'm taking a look at some home free again. We're looking at Trampled by Turtles, Ryan Bingham, Tyler Childers is back, Colton Wall is back, Turnpike Troubadours are back, and we're going to look at, who else are we going to look at? The Hill Country Devil again as well. And just remember, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos. And hit that subscribe button and you'll become part of the community here, and we'd love to have you as part of the 94 Club. Anyway, let's see who we've got today. Right, okay, so we're going with Ryan Bingham, Wolves. This is, I think, a little more folk than country. So we'll get straight into it and we'll see what we think. Wolves, I did a song about wolves before. Keep the Wolves Away, Uncle Lucius. Check that video out, that was a good one. Really enjoyed that song. So Wolves is obviously, it's a pretty scary depiction in our minds of something that we often want to stay away from. It's depicted in storybooks as children and things like that, so I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. Let's get straight into it. As I say, the genre's down as folk. I'm not sure whether it's country or folk, but occasionally we do stray a little away from country to hear some of that good music from other genres. So let's get this lined up and let's see what we think to it.
How the moon will cry, sleep the sun away. I was just a child, I knew I was afraid. There was nothing to gain, I found running the other way. I had to stand my ground and keep the wolves at bay. But I knew somehow there will come a day. So I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay. Would not take no more, had my fill. Stars had faded from my eyes, run from looks that kill. There was no one coming around to save me from the fray. I had to stand my ground and keep the wolves at bay. Well, I knew some.
Let's take it back a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I like the whole essence of the song. He's saying, like, I'm standing my ground, I'm keeping the bad stuff away, like I'll challenge it and face it head on. That kind of thing. It's a really nice song. Well, let's carry on.
To keep the wolves at bay. Well, I knew somehow there would come a day when I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay. Well, I knew somehow there would come a day. So I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay. Years have gone by, the calling carries on. Scars above my eyes are tender to the bone. And though I've settled down, I hear the children say, you have to stand your ground and keep the wolves at bay. When I knew somehow there would come the day when I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay. When I knew somehow there will come the day, so I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay.
That voice, incredible, and the whole production of that was nice as well. Through the when you're listening to it with headphones on, you get his kind of his performance, him playing the guitar. Through the left side of the headphones, you've got like I don't even know what that was. You've got three different things happening. You've got him playing through both headphones. You've got someone else playing through this headphone, and you've got someone else playing through this headphone. This one sounds a little bit more like a banjo or something. I don't know what this one was, but if you know, let me know. But that sounded really nice, and I felt like I was in the middle of people playing around me. It just felt cool. But that voice, though, like that's one of those iconic voices. When you hear it, you go, "That's Ryan Bingham." You know immediately. And if I hear his voice again, I'm going to know it's him. I don't know anyone else that sounds like that. As soon as he came in, there's a slight little growl to it. It just sounded beautiful. Anyway, the song, there's like an element of repetition to it, but it was good. The message was really nice. The idea of standing up to the things that you're afraid of and keeping them away is what goes throughout the whole thing, and it even goes to saying when he's got a family, he hears the children say it. That's how you know you've got to step up, and there is an element of you've got to step up to the plate with this. The onus is almost on you, but it almost comes full circle. So it starts off, the howling moon would cry, I'd sleep the sun away, I was just a child, I knew I was afraid. There was nothing to gain, I found, by running the other way. I had to stand my ground and keep the wolves at bay. Like, we have fears as children, and our fears do change as we get older, but the essence of and the principle is the same. Like, you got to stand up to it. And as I say, there's a bit of repetition in here, so it's not going to take me as long to review as the song is long. But I knew somehow there would come a day, so I stood my ground and kept the wolves at bay. And those fears can, like I say, they change through the years, and they can be anything from being scared of the dark as a child to being scared of the tax man as an adult. And they're very rational fears at the time, but they do change, and it's always something like. So I have this conversation I had it with my uncle a couple of weeks ago, but I've had it with my grandparents as well, and they just say, like, don't live in fear, never live in fear. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And they say that because they've gone through it, and the time spent worrying about stuff and afraid of stuff, you're wasting time. And it's something they'll say to me quite often, and they'll say, you don't need to be afraid of that. And I'm like, why? And you can't rationalise it in your head at the time. It's only when you live through that experience and you look back on life, are you like, yeah, that was stupid worrying about that. But you don't know at the time. That's the point. Like, you can't see what happens in the future. All you can do is hope for the best. Cool. So then he goes, would not take no more, had my fill. And this had my fill, like, it's definitely something that gets touched on a lot in country again. I've heard Lost Dog Street Band Benjamin Todd say it. I've had my fill, like, enough for one life. I don't need any more. Stars had faded from my eyes, like that hope you see as a child had gone, and that look of, anything you can take on the world and anything's possible, and run from looks that kill, and that's just avoiding judgment. And I just say this so many times in my video, just do not judge people. Do not let other people's judgment reflect on your character, because their opinion says more about them than it does to you. So I think I heard Ed Sheeran talking about this, and it's something that I like Ed Sheeran. I like a lot of his music, and he said he can't go out for dinner without a camera in his face, and I just thought, well, that's sad, right? Like, you can't go out for dinner without a camera in your face, like, and that comes from this run from looks that kill. Like, people are way too bothered in your business than they need to be. Like me personally, I just walk around, keep my head down, and try and get by. There was no one coming around to save me from the fray. I had to stand my ground and keep the wolves at bay. So we hit that home again. And then we repeat that little chorus bit. But I knew somehow that there would come a day when I stood my ground, kept the wolves at bay. And again, this is the ever-changing fear and the things that you have to stand up to as you go along. And then in this final verse, years have gone by, the calling carries on, scars above my eye are tended to the bone. So this is like getting aged and getting older. You've lived through a lot, but you still know that you can hear the wolves, and you can hear them. You can hear your fears. I think that's basically what this is relating to. And the scars above my eye was a nice little carry on from stars had faded from my eyes. So the scars look like they are a sign of the experience and memories and things that you've lived through, things that you were afraid of at the time, and you now wear them proudly on you. Well, maybe not proudly if you're afraid, but you now wear them on your skin. And though I've settled down, I hear the children say, you have to stand your ground and keep the wolves at bay. I think it's a really nice way to do it, and I think there are far more cliche ways that Ryan could have gone down to put this message across. But it was really nice, and when the lyrics don't give you everything and you feel some of those jigsaw pieces in yourself, it makes the song so much better for me, because it's like reading a book, right? And the ending's a bit of a cliffhanger, and you kind of have to feel that in for yourself. And he's basically gone, here's a great song, listen to it, enjoy it, and you fill in the blanks, and it makes your imagination run wild. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was nice. I'm going to be checking out more of Ryan's music, so if there's something you want to hear me listen to, drop it in the comments below. I think he's a cracking songwriter, having heard that, and like I say, I know there's a lot of repetition in there, but sometimes it's necessary to give you time to think about the message. So well done, Ryan. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell to stay with all the latest videos, hit the subscribe button, and you'll join the community. We'd love to have you in as part of the 94 Club. There's a lot more good music coming up this week. I'll see you tomorrow for some Tyler Childers. I appreciate you all. I really do. Thank you. Peace.